you guys, welcome back to my channel. Very exciting video for you guys today. We are going to be testing out a brand that I have never tried before. This was one of the brands that I put on my list of brands I would like to try in the year 2020. So I am squeaking it in right towards the end of the year. The brand is Nabla Cosmetics. I am very excited to give them a try. Hopefully you guys are excited about it. I've heard so many good things about this brand. A lot of those things coming from you guys. But before we jump into it, I just want to welcome any new visitors to my channel. Hopefully you enjoy this video. If you do enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up. And of course, make sure that you subscribe to my channel. And now let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright guys, so what I ended up going with is I ended up grabbing the Trendmood Nabla box that I think is this month's Trendmood box. I'm not sure if this is still available on the Trendmood website. I will link it down below if it is still available. But the eyeshadow palette that comes in this box is available both from the Ulta and the Nabla website. But I just couldn't pass up on this Trendmood box because it was a really great deal. For $44, you get the eyeshadow palette, which is $39 on Ulta's website, along with some other goodies, including brushes, a mascara, and some glitters. So I'm going to go through everything really quickly, and then we'll try everything out. So first off, let's just start with the eyeshadow palette. This is their brand new palette, the side-by-side palette. Let's take a look at the inside really quickly. Ooh, that's a beautiful... This is packaged beautifully. This color right here, I'm not sure if you can see it. It's a really rich kind of chocolatey brown. Lots of pretty colors in there. You've got some cool tones, you've got some warm tones, some pinks, some browns, some golds. Looks to be pretty neutral, which can be a good or a bad thing depending on what your preferences are. I do want to just say this. If I was just to pick a palette from Nabla, I'm not sure that this would have been my first choice. The two palettes that interest me the most from Nabla Cosmetics are two of their older palettes. I think one is the Poison Ivy or Poison Garden. I think it's the Poison Garden palette, and then another one called the Secret palette. I'll put a little insert of those two palettes right here so you guys can see them. Let me know if you guys have tried those ones out. Once we try out the formula of these today, if I really enjoy this one, I would still be interested in picking up one, if not both. I don't know, probably not both right away, but one of those two palettes. So if you have any feedback on either of those, please leave it down below. As for this side-by-side palette, I will insert some swatches of this for you guys right here. I haven't swatched it yet, but I'll swatch it at the end of the video and insert the swatches so you can see what they look like swatched on the arm. I'm excited to try this out. I think there's a lot of, even though it's neutral, I can see some really interesting looking shades in here. Like this pink looks to be kind of a unique pink. This looks to possibly be a duochrome. I love the look of this glittery shade right here. Let me just go ahead and swatch these three. Oh, those look really pretty. Feel very nice. I love that you get some staples in here from light to dark, both shimmer and matte. So yeah, I'm excited to give this thing a try. We will try it out in a minute. I do want to go through everything else that I got though. Along with the palette came this little set of glitters right here. I've already swatched these. I actually swatched these right before I started filming this video because I was just so curious about this pressed glitter formula. Is it going to be really refined? But I will say these are pretty chunky glitters. Well, they're not necessarily chunky. They're very multi-particled glitter. So they have some very fine glitter particles, some medium-sized, and some very large glitter particles inside, which to me makes them a little bit less than ideal. I don't like large particles of glitter on my eyes. I just don't like the look of it. I feel like it looks really good on camera, but in person, I'm just not really comfortable with large particled glitter. But if you are, these might be something you would enjoy. We may or may not try these out on the eyes today. We'll see how the eye look goes as we get into it, but that's okay. That's not necessarily what sold me on this slightly more expensive Trendmood box. What really sold me on the box was the addition of a mascara. This is the Major Pleasure mascara. I don't know if I've ever heard anything about the Nabla mascara. Let's just take a look at the wand. Looks like a pretty classic, almost reminds me of the original L'Oreal Voluminous wand. We will definitely try that out today. And the last thing that it included that I was curious about is the set of brushes. So it did come with a little pouch, which is really adorable. It has this really nice rubberized, almost like a decal. It kind of reminds me of like a metal decal with raised lettering on it. It's really sturdy feeling. I definitely don't need a bag like this. I have several of them, but if you're gonna get a little bag or a little clutch, it's nice to have one that feels good quality. So here are the brushes that came in the set right here. I haven't tried these out yet, but I've unpackaged them and felt them all. I've even rubbed them on my makeupless eyes just to feel how soft they are. And they feel really soft and nice. They're beautiful. I love this brushed gold. I think it's so pretty. So I will be trying these out with the eyeshadow palette today as well. All right, let's get down to the nitty gritty. Let's go ahead and jump into the palette and give it a try. So I think I'm gonna go with something neutral today. It's all neutral, obviously. I'm really kind of digging this section right here, maybe some of this brown right here as well. You guys know I love to match my shirt. And then if I do end up going with the glitters, maybe I'll put like this, one of these 3 glitters on my lid. I want to start off by going into this shade right here, which is the shade Halftime. You guys should be impressed because I actually just read that backwards in my mirror in front of me. I feel impressed by that. And these brushes don't have names on it. Just a fluffy blending brush that came in the set. I hope that this palette is still available. I ordered mine, I think today is Tuesday, and I ordered mine last Friday, I think, so it only took about 3 or 4 days to get here. But I have heard those Trendmood boxes, which up until this point I've never really had any interest in. I heard they sell out kind of fast, so hopefully they still have this one. But again, if they don't, they do sell this palette on Ulta's website. So far so good. This seems to be going on really well, blending really easily. Really pretty transition shade. Actually, let me zoom you guys in just a little bit. Okay, hopefully that's a little better. All right, now I want to add a little bit to my lower lash line. For that, I'm going to take this kind of smudger brush right here. Same shade. This palette actually reminds me a little bit, just the color story of it, how it has kind of the grays and then the warmer browns and some of the cooler browns. It reminds me a little bit of the Alter Ego, oh, I can't remember the name. Is it the Goddess palette? I get the Alter Ego palettes mixed up. The one that is meant to dupe the Biba palette by Natasha Denona. This color story kind of reminds me a little bit of that one. There are a couple differences, like you get some purples and like a steely gray in this one, which I don't think you get in that palette, but very similar vibe though. All right, now I want to start deepening out this outer corner right here. Let's take this shade right here, Burnt Sienna, and this is just a small blending brush. We're gonna start, ooh, these brushes are really soft. Just starting to run this on this outer third of my lid. I always forget to put my palette back down while I'm doing eyeshadow looks, and I wonder when my wrists start to hurt. I'm like, okay, you can set it down now, Mandy. Don't need to hold it and clench it like this the whole time. While I'm doing this, I thought I would mention for you guys, now is as good a time as any. I have some fun things planned for the month of December. I'm actually a little scared to make this announcement because this is a really big commitment for me, but I am going to try my darndest. No, I'm not going to try. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do a 12 days of Christmas on my channel leading up to Christmas from the 14th to the 25th. I will be posting a video every single day. Some of them might be a little bit shorter. Some of them are going to be a little bit less makeup related, like I might do a Christmas vlog, dip my toes into the vlogging scene. I don't know that that's something that I necessarily want to do permanently, but I thought for Christmas time it would be fun to do something like that. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Don't miss out. Make sure that you are subscribed, that you have your notifications on. I also have a really fun idea during the 12 days of Christmas. I'm going to be doing a Best in Color series. We'll all be going through eyeshadow colors and sharing with you guys my favorites within that color range. This is actually an idea that I've gotten from you guys in comments, so I think that will be a lot of fun. It'll be like a swatch party within an individual color scheme, like browns, best greens, best silvers and blues. I'm loving these shadows so far. They are going on beautifully. They're really soft, they're not too powdery. Really nice and pigmented. Now I want to dip into this shade right here. This shade just really is calling my name. It's like reminds me of like a taupe, but it has more rose gold in it. Really pretty shade, very glittery. This is kind of it's a little bit more sheer. It's not like a foiled shimmer. Reminds me of the Natasha Denona formula that's a little bit more of like a glitter topper. I don't know though, maybe this has a little bit more pigment backing to it. Look how pretty that is. Ooh, that is beautiful. All right, now I'm going to dip into this shade right here, which is the Champagne in the palette. It's the shade Ray of Light. Really nice traditional light champagne. Looks like it has a little bit of maybe gold in it, but it's not too warm. I feel like this would go with pretty much anything in the palette. Okay, that looks really, really nice. I just want to add a little bit of depth to the outer corner just to really test the limits of depth with this palette. For just a daytime look, I probably would just stop here and add some, maybe a little bit of liner, a little bit of mascara. But I do want to just kind of take a little bit of this shade right here, which is kind of a cool toned charcoaly brown. And I might actually mix a little bit of this red brown underneath, the shade Tempura. Had a harder time reading that one backwards. Got a little bit too confident in my reflection reading skills. Okay, that's nice and dark and rich. Woo! really dark and rich. I mean, it's pretty, but I think I had a little bit too much on my brush. I'm going to go into this kind of smudgy brush right here, and I'm just going to I'm actually kind of trying to pick up some of that color. I have a clean towel in front of me. I'm kind of wiping it off. I don't mind that much depth, but I want it to be a little bit more subtle if I can make it. So, ooh, that is pretty though. Okay, I'm going to go again. This time I'm going to try and dip a little bit more lightly, tap off the excess. Just be a little bit more light-handed on this side if I can. I have heard one or two of you mention before, I think when I first talked about trying out Nabla Cosmetics, I had a couple of you mention that you really loved their individual shadows. That's something I've looked into a couple of times. I just have not pulled the trigger yet. If you do love their singles, if you have specific ones that you want to recommend, feel free to leave that down below as well. I will try to write them down in my notebook so that the next time I'm browsing, I can remember what shades you guys recommended. Okay, so I think that's good for shadow. I just want to add, actually, do we want to do glitter? I feel like I should, because if I'm going to wear a glitter, I feel like this one right here. Let's just swatch it. Or we could go with like the gold, the multicolor gold. That would be really pretty too. It's going to take away that kind of purpley color though. Should we go with the purple? Oh, Mandy, make up your mind. This is the other problem. Actually, I'm kind of thinking the purple. Let's do that. Let's do the purple. Actually, before I do the glitter, I want to add my liner because I don't want to knock off the glitter when I'm adding liner because I don't want to get any fallout on my face. So I'm just adding a little tiny baby wing right here and a little bit to my waterline. All right, now let's jump into the glitter. So let's take just a little bit on my finger. I'm just going to put that right on the center of the lid. Okay, that doesn't look too crazy. It's pretty, I just wish it was a little bit smaller glitter particles, but that's just me. I'm not the world's biggest fan of glitter on the eyes, but if you are, you might really love these. As far as the formula, they don't feel as dry as the ColourPop ones, but I don't think they feel quite as creamy as like the Tati Beauty ones. All right, so now we're gonna add some mascara. I did already curl my lashes before I started. This is their Major Pleasure mascara. I'm not sure if this is available on the Ulta website or if you have to just get it from the Nabla website, but I will link it down below either way. I really know nothing about this mascara, but so far, wow. It's giving me a lot of length. My eyelashes right now, though, you guys, they are really long. I have been using that eyelash serum that I mentioned in my favorites video last month, and it works. It really does. Pause. I've got to lean in. Alright guys, here we have the finished look. Very, very impressed. The mascara is great. I mean, it's not like the best mascara ever, but it reminds me a lot of the L'Oreal Original Voluminous Mascara, which is a really good mascara. I know nobody talks about that one anymore. I actually like it better than the Lash Paradise. I think it works as good and it's not quite as dry. I'll check on the price of this thing. I'm assuming it's a little bit higher of a priced mascara because I know Nabla's a little bit more on the high-end side. I'll keep playing with this one. I'll definitely keep you posted on how it wears, especially like long term. It's going to take me some time to figure out if this works for me as far as longevity, not flaking, not smudging with watery eyes. But just on first application, it gives really good volume, really good length, and it was really easy to apply. And I really loved how this applied on my lower lashes. As for the brushes, very impressed with this little brush set. I will admit that this is probably the reason I went with the Trendmood box rather than getting a Nabla palette from Ulta's website. I didn't really have high expectations of these, but because they were basically almost free, I was sold on giving them a try, and I'm pleasantly surprised. I mean, I haven't used all of them yet, but so far they're really soft. We'll see how they wash up. Not sure that these are even available anywhere outside of the Trendmood box, but if the box is still available, if you're looking into it, and if you are interested in this palette, I do think the brushes are a huge bonus. They are definitely worth more than the $5 price difference between the Trendmood box and the eyeshadow palette alone. As for the eyeshadow palette, very impressed with this. I mean, again, you guys, I only used 5 shades today, but I was really happy with it. Very nice formula. I am even more excited to try one of their other palettes now. This is a great neutral palette if you are just into neutrals or maybe you're new into eyeshadow. I think this is a really good option. I feel like it would work for any skin tone, any makeup preference. I will also try and keep you guys posted on how these shadows wear. That's rarely an issue for me. It is very rare for me to find a shadow that fades off of my eyes completely by the end of the day. I don't have very oily eyelids, and I did use a primer today, so I don't imagine that will be an issue, but if it is, I will definitely come back and let you guys know. Glitters, I think I already shared my thoughts on. Not something I think I will get a lot of use out of. I do think they're really pretty. They look amazing on camera or for maybe pictures, like family pictures for the fall. I do think glitters are a really pretty option because they add a little bit of light and dimension to your eyes, and they don't show up very strongly on camera at all if they are detectable. They basically just add to bring light to your face, but they are detectable in person. Like if I was talking closely with someone, I would be a little bit self-conscious in these glitters because there are some very large particles in them. But again, if that's your thing, I think you would love them. All in all, I think this was totally worth the $44 that I paid for it. I am very happy to finally have tried Nabla Cosmetics. I was very impressed by the formula of these shadows. Can't wait to try out some more. Again, leave me your recommendations down below, whether that be a palette of theirs or some of their individual shades. They really impressed me, and I do really love their packaging as well. I'm not sure that I mentioned that, and I think their other packages look even prettier. I mean, this one's pretty, but it's kind of simple looking, but it's really nice. Really, really good quality. So that is it for my thoughts on trying out Nabla Cosmetics. I hope that you guys enjoyed this one. I would love to know if you guys have tried out this palette yourselves. I haven't heard a lot of people talking about it, but if you have any thoughts to share, please leave those down below. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. Hope that you guys are doing well. Hope that you guys will subscribe if you haven't done that yet before you leave. Hope that you guys are excited about my upcoming December videos. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And on top of that, January will also be a full month of nothing new. So lots of good stuff coming up on my channel, so make sure that you're subscribed. I think that's the 4th time I've said that in this video. Thank you guys again. I will see you guys in my next one. Bye. Before we jump into what we'll be testing out today, I want to welcome any special visitors. You're all special visitors. What's that supposed to mean? It's a little risque. Could you tell I was out of breath in that sentence? Okay, also, these brushes came with these little sleeves. Remember my toilet paper trick? And they actually fit on my rougher brushes too. I feel like this is genius. Now I may not have to do the toilet paper trick after I wash my brushes to keep the bristles all straight. I am saving those for sure. Put on my Wayne Goss brush. Let's try this one out. Yeah, that'll work. If I lean it against something. Sweet. What else does it work on?